So I made a list of every upcoming top 1 demon that I think could dethrone Abyss of Darkness and take the number 1 spot. I have ranked them, in my opinion at this time, from least to most likely to defeat Abyss of Darkness. Because events in the Geometry Dash community are very hard to predict, it's possible that some of these placements will be more inaccurate in the future before any of these are actually verified. And also, I'm not a top player, so do take this video with a pinch of salt. All of the difficulty talk in this video is based off top players' opinions. Out of these 10 levels, the level I think is least likely to dethrone Abyss of Darkness is Adramelech. This is a very hard level. It's not original nor interesting to me, but it is hard, and I will give it credit for that. It's also capable of dethroning many of the levels on this list, partially because it's a 5-minute level. However, it's so far from decoration completion that it doesn't stand much of a chance dethroning AOD specifically, even if it is top 1 in the distant future. At number 9 we have Misanthrope. This level is around 5 minutes long and has a similar situation with Adramelech, except more people were involved with this level. I think this level will be finished first because it currently has more parts decorated than Adramelech, but other than that it's pretty much the same story. At number 8 I put Heliopolis. Heliopolis is an 0.5 speed layout that is harder and the higher the refresh rate you have, probably making it harder and possibly taking it for the enjoyment rating of 360 FPS top players. Mindcap has shown the full layout recently on his channel, but he said he would only focus on it after Return 0, which will probably be a significant amount of time. So most likely this level will probably not be able to defeat Abyss of Darkness, and while it is easier than some of the levels after this, I don't think it will be out for a while. Next up, at number 7 is Orochi. Orochi is extremely difficult, you've probably all heard of this level. Whether it's harder than AOD is a question I can't answer, but my guess is yes by a decent margin. While this level is far from verification, and the 2.0 half is being redecorated, I think that this level has a bigger chance because the only thing holding it back is Novelboy's inactivity. The deco is already finished and Rob would 100% rate it without the redeco because of all the hype surrounding the level. However, by the time Novelboy gets consistent with the level, many of the levels listed here are more likely to be verified and placed before this, some dethroning AOD. At that point, the exact difficulty of this monster of a level becomes irrelevant. Next up is Death Corridor. Trust me when I say this level is extremely misleading, much harder than it looks. The number of frame perfects in this level is insane, and I admire Kugelblitz's dedication to the level. However, recent progress has been slow, and Kugelblitz has the level in 2 runs, but it's still far from verification, as Kugelblitz has said he wants to improve as a player before verifying the level. He's not nearly as inactive as Novelboy, though, so I think this level has a higher chance of being verified in time to dethrone Abyss of Darkness. At number 5 we have Ascension to Heaven. It's still being decorated and being worked on, but it's being worked on more actively than any of the levels mentioned before, excluding the Orochi redecoration. This is one of the coolest extreme demons ever in my opinion, and has the potential to become the best top 1 the game has seen, except maybe Bloodbath and Bloodlust from pure nostalgic bias. At number 4 I put the Human Limit. The O in this level stands for originality. Now despite the name of the level, this is not the Human Limit, it's not even an XL level, so yeah. However, it is still an extremely difficult level. I could see this verified sooner rather than later, and given the short length compared to the other demons on this list, it will most likely pass the verification sooner rather than later as well. I think the deco looks nice, but I'll make a video detailing my opinion on it in like a week or so, as I have many suggestions for the level to improve. At number 3 is Azure Flare. This is the first level on this list that I think genuinely has a decent chance of dethroning Abyss of Darkness. This level is in a sort of limbo. Aiden GD is verifying this final boss of 9 Circles levels, and while it will definitely be harder than AOD and other levels on this list, it will take time to verify. Nevertheless, this level is closer to verification than all of the previous levels mentioned, so I placed it here. At number 2 is Eternal Night. Eternal Night is a work of art that also happens to be a top 1 extreme demon. While Swyborg is currently verifying, he also has a Nemesis and Deimos by Skelly to verify. However, he is playing the level right now, and will most likely verify it before the end of 2022, no pressure. The thing I call into question is the difficulty of this level, and while it is definitely hard and probably top 1, I don't think it is as hard as most of the levels on this list, mainly the level I mentioned after this. So if another level is verified beforehand, not even the level mentioned after, but one of the ones I mentioned before, it will almost definitely not take the top 1 place in addition to not dethroning AOD. Other than that, it is the closest level to verification, other than the level I'm about to mention, which is Silent Clubstep. Vision is the closest to verifying this old impossible level, having 65% and 14,200 as of this recording. Whether it is harder than AOD is mostly unknown, but one thing's for sure, Space UK will say it's easier than Slaughterhouse. There is also the possibility that because it is an open verification, that top players could return to the level and try to beat it. I think together, Silent Clubstep and Eternal Night have more of a chance than any of the other levels put on this list. So yeah, that's the video. I'm going to try to upload pretty frequently, but things might get a little slower towards May since school year is ending, which means just a bunch of tests for me, and kind of don't have as much free time. I also really hope that Abyss of Darkness places top 1 because my views depend on it.